All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first race of the morning, the 20-minute sprint race, we'll see Andrew Lau and Giancarlo on the front row. Max Gunther and Adam Barker have the second row. Nick Sorensen and Harry Volsmir on the third row. Mike Dolling, Rudolph Gunther on the fourth row. Paul Dolling and Mike Marshall rounding out the top 10. Nicole Kriesel starting in 11th. Ronnie Wimberly will grid in 12th. Everybody getting lined up on the grid just before that final turn. They will not have a full pace lap this morning, so not as much time to get heat in those tires. Track temperature currently 90 degrees, up quite a bit from the 86 degrees they had in practice this morning. And it does not look like Ronnie Wimberly will take to the grid this morning. Looks like 11 cars will be starting race number 1 here at Road America. Just waiting for that Porsche pace car to start rolling. There he goes. Giancarlo comes into the morning with a 20-point lead over Adam Barker. Andrew Lau quite a ways back. The top two, here we go. They fire early. Green flag is now in the air. Lau is away. And down toward turn 1 they go. We've seen chaos here before on the first lap. Will we see any today? Everybody makes it through turn 1 clean. Giancarlo already catching up with Andrew Lau, and a little wide out of Max Gunther, and we've got cars off in the back. Looks like Rudolph Gunther, Mike Marshall, Paul Dolling all involved. Let's see what happened. There's Rudolph Gunther in the Porsche. Oh, looks like he might have got a little bit of a tap from behind. Looking at Paul Dolling as he rolls into the turn, gets right up on the bumper, hits his brakes, but too late. And Mike Marshall nowhere to go. Everybody got rolling. Once again, everybody's still on track. Giancarlo has slipped back to third, though, as Max Gunther on the attack, now up to second and closing the gap on Andrew Lau. Mike Dolling now up to fourth place. The Minister of Defense holding off Harry Volsmir and Adam Barker for the moment. That lone Mercedes of Nick Sorensen back in 7th. Rudolph Gunther came out of that incident fairly good. He is still within striking distance in 8th. Nicole Kriesel also managed to avoid all the chaos, moves up into 9th. Paul Dolling way back in 10th, and Mike Marshall right with him in 11th. They have a lot of ground to make up. Adam Barker has gotten past Harry Volsmir to take 5th. Harry Volsmir currently in 6th. Mike Marshall has come into pit road. Did not look like he took any damage. Oh, no, it does look like he did get a little bit of right front damage in that incident. He has gotten it fixed and is away. And it looks like Yannick Gunther in the chat cheering on Max and Rudolph. Max on the attack in 2nd place has caught Andrew Lau. They've got a little breathing room back to Giancarlo in 3rd now. Meanwhile, Rudolph Gunther, after that early incident, back in 8th, trying to reel in Nick Sorensen in 7th. You have to wonder, Sorensen with the Mercedes power here this morning and these long straightaways at Road America, Sorensen is reeling in the pack ahead of him. Meanwhile, Mike Dolling, the Minister of Defense, has got his hands full with Adam Barker and Harry Volsmir. Mike trying to hold on to 4th. Adam's giving him, Adam's off track. Adam recovers but loses quite a bit of ground there. You see Adam to the inside as they come into that final turn. Gets on the throttle and just slides off a little bit. Paul Dolling has had an issue as well. As has Nicole. There's Nicole. Paul Dolling running her down. Oh, Nicole just goes a bit wide. Paul gets a little too wide, goes off in the grass. Both of them recover. Max Gunther just set the fastest lap so far. Currently holding on in 2nd. Adam Barker has gone to pit road. He did not hit anything. Did not look like he got any damage. This is definitely going to be a good morning in the points for Giancarlo. His 20-point lead likely to grow after race 1. Race 2 could be a huge deciding factor. This is the 6th race of the 12-week season. Also a big points day for Andrew Lau if he can pull off the win here. With Adam Barker on pit road, there was an almost 80-point gap between Lau and Barker. That is going to close up dramatically. Simon Zierk not here this morning. That's going to allow Nicole, that's what she said, Kriesel currently in 8th in points to pick up a spot, move up into 7th. Nick Sorensen, who currently runs in 5th behind Max Gunther. Everybody in the top 6 is here today. Looks like of the points contenders, only one is really missing this morning. Interesting note as well, Rudolph Gunther will move up into 11th in points with Yannick Gunther being out this morning. The top three have tightened back up now. Andrew Lau, Max Gunther, and Giancarlo all nose to tail all the way around the track. Mike Marshall, with Adam Barker's problems, has now moved into 10th, trying to reel in Nicole Kriesel in 9th. Oh, Nicole a little wide. Paul Doling starting to recover from that early incident. Now back into 8th, trying to run down Harry Volsmeer, who has slipped back into 7th. Hey, good morning, Jared. Oh, Rudolph gets a little bit of the grass, but holds on to it in 6th. Nick Sorensen in 5th has caught up to Mike Doling. Top three still nose to tail. Mike Doling now has his hands full with Nick Sorensen. Not sure if the Minister of Defense will be able to hold off that Mercedes power this morning, though. The straightaways here at Road America definitely favor the power in that Mercedes. Paul Doling is on pit road. He is getting a fresh set of tires here. Nicole Kriesel now moves up into 8th place. This is, Nicole is definitely showing here today, and season after season has shown being here and being consistent, staying out of trouble, has kept her moving up into the points. Had she not missed the last race of last season, she would have been top 5 in the points. After today, she'll move up into 7th, could be a top 5 contender once again this season. Paul Doling is back out on track, but now 17 seconds behind Mike Marshall. Mike now only 12 seconds behind Nicole at the halfway point. Lap times here about consistent with what we saw in practice, despite the track getting a little bit hotter here this morning. Jared, hope to see you tonight, buddy. Have a good day. Weirdly, Adam Barker is still sitting on pit road. Max Gunther just set the fastest lap again last time by, doing everything he can to find a way past the Ferrari of Andrew Lau, but hasn't been able to get there. They do occasionally put a little bit of a gap, though, on Giancarlo. Mike Doling still managing to hold off Nick Sorensen. Rudolph Gunther now in 6th. Harry Volsmeer losing some ground, now back in 7th. Nicole currently in 8th, but Mike Marshall is closing in rapidly, now just 6 seconds back. Paul Doling in 10th with fresh tires, but 17 seconds behind Mike Marshall, and Adam Barker still sits on pit road. Giancarlo now slipping 0.8 of a second back from Max for the moment. But remember, we have seen Giancarlo run down from a about 15-second gap to take the lead and pull off a win. Does that Porsche that driven by Giancarlo have that same speed here this morning, though? Max Gunther, meanwhile, all over Andrew Lau's bumper. Hey, good morning, Russell. How are you? How did your race end last night, Russell? I was kind of preoccupied. A little busy. Mike Doling still managing to hold off Nick Sorensen at the moment. Rudolph Gunther only about 4.9 seconds back, but unable to gain ground. Meanwhile, Harry Volsmir about 7 seconds back and gaining on Rudolph. Mike Marshall has gotten past Nicole Kriesel, moving Mike back up into 8th, Nicole into 9th. Ouch, Russell. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Andrew Lau has finally put just a little bit of breathing room between him and Max. Giancarlo still lurking about 0.9 of a second back, but this is not what we're used to seeing out of Giancarlo this morning. Well, looking forward to seeing that one tonight, Russell. Don't forget, everybody tune in tonight, 7 Eastern, or 7:30 Eastern rather. BRR Cup Series is back. The new season begins at Daytona. Andrew Lau has now put almost 1.5 seconds on Max Gunther. Max now just trying to hold Giancarlo off. Sorensen still unable to get past the Minister of Defense, Mike Doling. Mike Curley running in 4th. Mike Marshall was gaining a little bit of ground on Harry Volsmir. Mike Curley in 8th, Harry in 7th. But Harry has picked the pace up just a little bit, trying to close in on 6th place Rudolph Gunther, but that 7-second gap does not look like he is going to be able to get it done. Giancarlo now to the inside on Max Gunther for 2nd. Giancarlo got to the inside through turn 1, ran him down into turn 2, outbraked and pulls up into second place. Max Gunther now to third, Mike Dalling in fourth, Nick Sorensen in fifth, and Harry Volsmeer has gone to pit road. This is unexpected. Looks like Harry needed repairs. He went off track a moment ago. Let's see what happened. Oh! Looks like a small bump from Adam Barker. They both end up around. Adam ended up towing it into pit road. The taser, Harry Volsmeer, keeps going. Harry quickly repairs. He is still holding on to seventh, but Mike Marshall now 17 seconds back, still likely not going to have time to take seventh unless Harry makes a mistake. Meanwhile, Andrew Lau's lead continuing to grow, now 2.5 seconds. Giancarlo still has Max all over the back bumper. Mike Dalling now starting to gap Nick Sorensen, has about 1.4 seconds on him. Rudolph Gunther back in sixth, Harry in seventh, Mike Marshall in eighth. Paul Dalling has gotten by Nicole to take ninth. Nicole now back in 10th. Harry Volsmeer is back on pit road. Very odd to see him back in. He came in, repaired. The car is fine. Giancarlo puts about a half second worth of breathing room between him and Max now. Andrew Lau, meanwhile, checking out. Hey, good morning, Gerald Poole. Andrew Lau out of the final turn, should see the white flag this time. No, checkers. Checkered flag is out. Andrew Lau gets it done and wins race 1 at Road America. Giancarlo comes home in second and Max Gunther in third. And a little bit of flying going on back here as well. Looks like the Minister of Defense went around. Let's talk to our top three, starting with Max. Max, you definitely had the speed there early. You caught up, but just couldn't get around and couldn't hold Giancarlo off.
Yeah, I made a mistake or two, and in the last lap my back nearly stepped out in the kink, so that was a real close one. But Andrew just had the pace today. There was nothing I could do.
It was still a great run, and you and Giancarlo had quite a battle.
Yeah, it was great. It was great racing with both of them.
Well, man, great job. Looking forward to seeing what you can do in the second race.
Yeah, me too. Doug, me too.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Giancarlo coming home in second. Giancarlo, we were talking in pre-race about the time that you had to run down a mistake in turn one, a 15-second rundown, and you just didn't have the same pace here today.
Yeah, Max and Andrew just very quick. I don't have it for him, but Max and I had some great racing and both a bit of a heart attack at the end where we almost binned it into the kink, both of us.
You both managed to save it, though, and go on. And with Adam having problems here, obviously halfway through the season, your points lead about to jump up quite a bit.
Yeah, but we got plenty of the season left. You never know what's gonna happen, so we take it one week at a time.
Still another great finish. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
And finally, our winner, Andrew Lau. Andrew, you were just impossible to beat. Both Max and Giancarlo said you had the pace more and were faster than everybody this morning.
This is one of my favorite tracks to race on, so I've been spending pretty good time on it lately. Yeah, but it was really close up until Max made a little mistake there at the end. He was going to get me any second.
I have to ask the obvious question. 3 weeks in a row now, the guy who has won the first race has gone on to sweep. Can you pull that off coming from 7th today?
It's going to be tough. Max and Giancarlo have a lot of pace as well, so we might get stuck behind them for a little bit, but we'll try to do our best.
Well, man, a great race, a great win. Congratulations, and good luck in race 2.
Thank you, Doug.
Drivers going out for just a couple of minutes here. They've got a little bit of warm-up, a last opportunity to make some tuning changes. Good morning, Mark Dantuma. Adam Barker is out on track. Looks like he is the only driver out for the warm-up session here. Obviously, Adam having some big problems in race 1. Will he be able to overcome it, come back and win? Due to the fact that he is second in points, came into the morning 20 points behind Giancarlo. He has got to make up some ground here in race 2, but he will be starting from way back, I believe, in 11th. Mike Marshall sitting out on pit road as well. Will we see him out? Mike had a good consistent run despite being caught in that early incident out of turn 2. Was able to fight back quite a bit. Looks like Adam practicing some pit road entry here. Seeing out just how far he can push the car before he has to hit the pit road speed limiter. Hey, good morning, beautiful. Hope you are doing great. Looking forward to seeing you out on this road course before long. Just a few seconds left to go in warm-up. Just enough time to hit that like, follow, share, and subscribe buttons. Warm-up is over. It's time for race number 2. The top 7 from race 1 will invert for the start. Here's what it looks like with the invert. Mike Marshall and Rudolph Gunther on the front row. Nick Sorensen and Mike Dolling on the second row. Max Gunther and Giancarlo have the third row. Andrew Lau, the winner of race 1, with Ari Volsmir on the fourth row. Paul Dolling and Nicole Kriesel round out your top 10. Adam Barker and possibly Ronnie Wimberly, 11th and 12th. Ronnie did not grid for race number 1. We'll see if he comes out here for race 2. Harry Volsmir is not taken to the grid yet either. Obviously, Harry had some problems as well as Adam Barker in race 1. Harry looks like he may be starting from pit road. And Ronnie Wimberly is not present at the moment. The Porsche pace car heads to pit lane. Up to the top of the hill, Mike Marshall is fired. They are away. Green is in the air. Top 3, a little breathing room into turn 1, but as we know, turn 1 here can get a bit exciting as Giancarlo is off. Andrew Lau has crashed as well. See if we can see what happened to Giancarlo here. Right on Lau's bumper. It looked like he might have just given Lau a little bit of a tap. And, oh, Lau had a rough run. As Giancarlo just gets in a little too deep, gets into Lau. Lau goes around. One of the Dollings gets into him, but he gets rolling again. And now Paul Dolling has had a problem. Paul comes out of turn 2 a little too much on the throttle, and he goes around. Andrew Lau did toe to pit road. Paul Dolling is out of the race, it looks like. Now Dolling is out, and Wimberly are both officially out. Meanwhile, Mike Marshall has got his hands full of Gunther as here comes, oh! Rudolph is around, Max goes with him right in front of the field. Mike Marshall is checking out. And let's take a look at what just happened here. Rudolph Gunther is the front Gunther car, followed by Max. Rudolph almost gets into Mike Marshall, checks up. Max nowhere to go. Mike Dolling nowhere to go. Giancarlo may have caught a oh no, Giancarlo got loose just outside of the kink. What a dramatic change in the first lap. Mike Marshall now has a 1.4 second lead over Sorensen. Adam Barker in third. Mike Dolling in fourth. Harry up to fifth despite starting from pit road. And Andrew Lau, so much for the sweep. He is on pit road. Giancarlo is on pit road. Mike Marshall had checked out just a little bit, a couple seconds, but now Sorensen and Barker are running him down. Mike Dolling has fourth. Harry Volsmir now in fifth. Max Gunther recovered to take sixth. Nicole in seventh. Rudolph Gunther in eighth. Andrew Lau now off pit road in ninth. Giancarlo off pit road in 10th. Mike Marshall's lead has completely disappeared as Sorensen has caught him. They might want to worry about that black car though. Harry Volsmir has the fastest lap so far. Nick Sorensen does have the power advantage, but that Mercedes not handling as well as the Ferrari right behind him. Adam staying right in his tire tracks, closes right up to the bumper in the turns. Ronnie Wimberly is on his way off, is out on track now. Great to see Ronnie back out here in the Quad Racing Ferrari. Check him out on Twitch and Facebook. Quad Racing. Ronnie is an amazing, amazing guy. Out of the final turn and then the long front straightaway. Sorensen about 0.8 of a second back at the final turn, but already reeling in the leader. That Mercedes power really comes into play on that straightaway. You even see him put a little bit of a gap on Adam Barker in the Ferrari, but that Ferrari gets him every turn. Mike Dolling back in fourth is closing in on the top three. He is bringing Harry Volsmir and Max Gunther with him. Nicole still holds on to seventh. Rudolph Gunther in eighth, about 30 seconds back in closing. Andrew Lau and Giancarlo ninth and 10th, both a lap down here early. Gotta say though, seeing Mike Marshall in the Conliff racing car out front is amazing. Huge shout out to Mike Marshall as well for hooking us up with a wheel that will allow me to start racing more in the near future. Giancarlo has had a problem back behind and is going back to pit road. going into, oh no, he just clips too much of the apron, goes sliding around, and the same problem he had in race 1, just a different location. Giancarlo did toe to pit road. Ronnie Wimberly is also going into pit road. Yannick, I'm as surprised as as you are. It seems as if Road America may be Giancarlo's nemesis. We have seen him come back from big deficits here, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it today. Expecting to see all these drivers get 4 tires on their stop this morning. A lot of the drivers talking about tire wear here being an issue. Also, the track temperature has come back down to 89 degrees, so who knows, the tires might actually survive a little bit better in race 2. Ten minutes into the second race, and man, this has been a wild one. It has been a while since we have seen Mike Marshall out front. It is great to see the Conliff Racing car back at the front. Nick Sorensen right behind, and they are starting to gap Adam Barker, now 1.5 seconds back. Well, with Giancarlo having problems here early on, despite Adam's problems in race 1, I think that Adam is going to close up that points gap just a little bit this morning, if he can hold on to that podium finish. However, the Minister of Defense not far behind Mike Dolling, 4.3 seconds back. He's got Harry Volsmir and Max Gunther closing in on him as well. Nicole Kriesel back in 7th as Rudolph Gunther closing in on her. Rudolph now just 4 seconds back. Andrew Lau back in 9th place with Giancarlo in 10th. And it does appear Giancarlo is done. I don't know that we have ever seen a DNF for Giancarlo. Meanwhile, the Mercedes Power now looking to the high side on the Porsche. Can he get position coming down the straightaway? Mike Marshall doing everything he can, but Sorensen has the run into the left-hander. Sorensen to the lead. And that is exactly what Adam Barker needed to close back in. It also allowed Mike Dolling to close a big gap. He is now just 3.7 seconds back. Max Gunther and Harry Volsmir still trying to close in as well. They are 1.7 seconds behind Dolling. This race is far from over. Mike Marshall still staying with Sorensen. Barker also with him. Dolling now just 3.5 seconds back. Have to agree with you there, Yannick. I do believe Mike Marshall deserves a podium today, preferably at the top of it. Max Gunther has gotten past Harry Volsmir to take fifth and now sets his sights on the Minister of Defense. Just 1.2 seconds behind Mike Dolling. Dolling, meanwhile, less than 3 seconds behind Adam Barker. As Nick Sorensen trying to pull a little bit of a gap, has about 0.6 of a second. Almost 0.7 of a second now on Mike Marshall. Adam Barker still right in their tire tracks, a little breathing room between each of the top three. But they better pick up the pace. Mike Dolling is on the way. Coming even faster, though, is Max Gunther. Max now just 0.8 of a second behind Dolling. He clubbed through that sweeping high-speed right-hander. Max closed that gap up even more, now just half a second back. Should be just about in the BMW slipstream. Adam's still right with Mike Marshall, but Sorensen starting to open a gap, especially when they come down this long front straightaway. Mike Marshall had a problem in the final turn and lost second. Coming into that final turn, just goes a bit wide into the grass, has to slow down to keep the car straight, gets back on it, but Adam Barker slips by. And now this field has gotten even tighter as Max Gunther has a run on Mike Dolling. It is a drag race down the back straightaway. Dolling with the inside through the next few corners. They touch. Max not giving an inch, trying to keep Dolling pinched down. Now Max will have the inside line. But Dolling sends it deep through the turn and holds position. That did give Mike Marshall a little breathing room. Now 3 seconds over this battle for fourth. And here we go again. Max trying to take the spot. He is the run on the high side this time. Dalling just sends it a little bit deeper into the turns, and now Dalling through the final turn holds it. Holy cow, Max had a big run out of the turn. Dalling is protecting that inside line, trying to make sure. He is not going to give Max the easy pass here. Max is going to have to make it on the high side. Oh, Max gets the crossover through the first turn, down to the second turn. It's going to come down to who breaks last, and it was Dalling to break last. What a battle these two have, and Mike Marshall's got to love what he is seeing in the mirror as Adam Barker tries to catch up to the leader, Nick Sorensen. Marshall still in third, but Dalling and Gunther still battling it out. It is a dogfight between these two. This is the kind of battling you see for a lead, but man, these two are fighting for fourth. And while it's happening, Rudolph Gunther, who lost a lot of ground early in the race, is closing in quite rapidly, now just 55 seconds back and gaining. Mike Marshall's gap now 2 3/4 seconds over Dalling and Gunther. You know he is hoping those two get side by side once again. Max swings it a little bit wide through that one. Mike Marshall up in third, Barker in second, but Sorensen with these long straightaways and that Mercedes power, he is pulling away now. 3.4 seconds is his lead. Mike Marshall is trying to close the gap on Adam Barker. Mike Dalling in fourth. Max Gunther is so close to him that going down the straightaway, you can't hardly see Max. Oh, Max is really pushing that Porsche to the absolute limit. But they don't call Mike Dalling the Minister of Defense for nothing. He has held off some pretty big charges from Max. They continue, while they're single file, they continue to close the gap on Mike Marshall, who is starting to close in on Adam Barker. Adam had pulled up almost 3-second gap on Marshall, but now Adam has had a few mistakes, and it has allowed Mike to close into about 2 1/4 seconds. We have seen a major glitch in the Matrix this morning, folks. Giancarlo out of a race. Adam Barker struggling despite being in second place. Andrew Lau back in 8th place. The whole race turned upside down pretty much from the first lap, and Andrew Lau just set the fastest lap so far. He continues to reel in Nicole. That's what she said. Kriesel in. Nicole currently in 7th. Rudolph in 8th. And it looks like Harry Volschmier is also now out of the race. Harry came into the morning 4th in points, just 12 points ahead of Max. Max had a podium finish in race 1. Oh, here we go. Max is looking down to the inside. Max had the nose in through that second turn, but couldn't get far enough in to make a move on Doling. They continue to reel in Mike Marshall as Andrew Lau has gone by Nicole. Andrew now to 7. And here we go. Max looks to the inside. He's got the bumper in just barely, but slips it out of the turn. Doling holds him off once again. And it gave Mike Marshall a little bit more breathing room. Andrew Lau continues to set the fastest laps. He is trying to reel in everybody ahead of him. Rudolph Gunther just ran his fastest lap of the morning last time by. Rudolph was gaining some ground on the 2 cars ahead, Max and Mike, but when they stopped battling, he stopped gaining ground. Oh, Max Gunther is short pitting. Max Gunther is the first to come to pit road. Nick Sorensen's lead now 5 seconds over Adam. Mike Marshall 2 1/4 seconds back, and Mike Doling closing in now 1.6 seconds back. Rudolph currently in 6th. Will we see him on pit road this time, knowing that Max is in? Andrew Lau to 7th. Nicole Kriesel in 8th. Nicole, just by sheer will and determination, keeps moving forward week in and week out, and she's consistently getting faster. The Mercedes was definitely the right choice this morning. All that power in the long straights here is coming into play. Adam Barker has been unable to gain any ground on the leader. Mike Marshall, though, about to have his hands full. Doling has about caught him. Max Gunther managing to hold on to 5th place when he came off pit road. The leader is on pit road. Adam Barker brings it in 2nd. Mike Marshall, Mike Doling are back in. Max could gain a lot of ground here. This is going to come down to who has the quicker stops. Rudolph Gunther did not come in last time. Let's see. Do we see tire changes? Sorensen is up. 4 tires. Adam Barker is also up. Expecting tire changes for everybody. Mike Doling is up. Rudolph Gunther did go to pit road on that first lap, but expect him in this time. Andrew Lau was on pit road early on, but still needs to come in for his fuel stop, as does Nicole Kriesel. Sorensen leads him off pit road. Adam Barker is out. Mike Marshall holds on to 3rd, Doling in 4th. Max Gunther in 5th, but just 1.8, 1.7 seconds behind Dowling. Rudolf Gunther still has not made his fuel stop. Neither has Andrew Lau or Nicole Kriesel. Sorensen's lead after the pit stops, 4.8 seconds over Adam. Mike Marshall in third has Dowling about a second back. But help is coming for Mike Marshall as Max Gunther is closing in. Andrew Lau just set the fastest lap again last time by as he tries to reel in everybody. Max Gunther just at 1 second behind Dowling as they go into that sweeping right-hander. But he gains 0.2 of a second in that turn. The Porsche definitely a lot more agile than the BMW. But Mike Dowling does have that ability to make that car seem like it's taken up the entire track. Mike Marshall has pulled a little bit of a gap now, 1.25 seconds on Mike Dowling. And Max Gunther is there. He is in Dowling's slipstream once again. He got to him though. Can he get around him with less than 20 minutes to go? And Rudolf Gunther is on pit road. Andrew Lau, who won race number 1, problems on the first lap, had to go to tow it to pit road. Lau is headed in for his fuel and tire stop. Adam Barker is closing the gap now, just 3.4 seconds back. They have the lap car of Nicole Kriesel coming into play as well. Mike Marshall still holds third. Dowling in fourth has Max Gunther all over him. Hey, good morning, David. How are you? Nicole pulls over, lets the lead lap cars get by. And Max Gunther just set the fastest lap of the morning. Have to wonder if track temperatures are coming down. Let's take a look. They are indeed now down to 88 degrees as the race goes on. David, do you work 7 days a week, buddy? The Minister of Defense has caught Mike the Money Marshall. Third, fourth, and fifth now all up for grabs. This is going to get interesting, let's say. And they are all trying to reel in Adam Barker less than 2 seconds ahead. Max Gunther takes the opportunity. He goes down to the inside. Oh, this is going to get good as they go off into turn 1. Max has that inside line. Max gets the nose ahead. Headed into turn 2. Slides up. Oh, Dowling right to his bumper. But out of turn 2, Max Gunther now to fourth. Oh, I got you, David. While that was happening back behind, Mike Marshall closed to 1.9 seconds, and we're about to see this battle pop off again as Mike Dowling gets to the inside on Max. The BMW has a little bit more power than the Porsche. The Porsche has the better handling. Mike Marshall starting to pull away again. Now 1.3 seconds. He has got to be loving this battle going on behind. Another driver loving the fact they're battling ahead is Andrew Lau, now in 7th, trying to reel in Rudolf Gunther in 8th. Lau now just barely a minute behind Mike Dolling and Max Gunther with 15 minutes left to go. It's unlikely he's going to catch him, but you never know what could happen. This race has been completely unexpected. Sorensen opened the lead back up to 4 seconds, but at the moment, Adam is the faster of the two. Mike Marshall now in 3rd, Mike Dolling in 4th is closed back up within half a second. Once again, out of turn 1, we're about to have a 3-car battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Adam Barker loves what's going on behind him. His gap now 3 seconds, but he is unable to catch up to the Mercedes power driven by Nick Sorensen. Sorensen's lead now 4.2 seconds. Adam gains ground in the corners, but as soon as they hit that straightaway, the Mercedes just takes off. Mike Marshall, Mike Dolling, and Max Gunther still battling 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Max looks up outside again. This is where Max has gained all his ground all race long through this right-hand sweeper. And every time Max looks for a move on Mike Dolling, Mike Marshall is able to pull a bit of a gap. The BMW definitely has the power advantage, David, but the Porsche has been outmaneuvering it all morning long. This is definitely going to be an interesting finish. Meanwhile, Nick Sorensen just holding about 4 seconds ahead of Adam Barker in the Ferrari. Hey, thanks, David. Have a great day, buddy. Here we go. The BMW of Mike Dolling looks to the outside as they head toward the left-hander. Marshall on the inside trying to hold on to 3rd. Marshall cuts a little bit of the apex there. Heading up the hill, the BMW power comes into play. But look at they're 3 wide briefly. And now Mike Dolling, David's prediction correct. Mike Dolling is now gone to 3rd. Max holds on to 4th. Mike Marshall in 5th. Got to give it to Mike Marshall. He held on to that podium spot for a long, long time and defended against 2 of the best drivers out here. Adam Barker is starting to reel in Nick Sorensen, now 3.6 seconds back. Just over 11 minutes to go. And here we go once again. Max gets the inside line down the front straightaway. Dawling getting as close as he can, trying to side draft, do anything he can into turn one to have an advantage. Max still has the nose ahead as they go off into turn two. Dawling outbreaks him. And they are dead even coming out of two. They almost touch. Look who's sneaking back into this fight as well. Mike Marshall still within striking distance. Mike Dawling will have the inside line as they get to the bottom of the hill here. Max not giving an inch, but can't hold it off. Now Max looks to the inside as they come back up the hill. And he has the nose in. Mike Marshall is caught right back up. Adam Barker in second now has slipped back 4 seconds behind Sorensen. Andrew Lau once again setting the fastest lap of the morning. 14 seconds back from 6th place Rudolf Gunther. Mike Dawling and Max Gunther have been battling almost since they got back out on track after pit stops. Mike Marshall right behind him did not have to do a lot of craziness to hold them off. This may come down to late in this race. If these two have used up their tires and the car starts slipping, Mike Marshall could still slip back by. Max staying right in the slipstream of the BMW. Adam has now slipped about 5 seconds behind Sorensen. As Sorensen continues to power away in the lead. Mike Dawling and Max Gunther are now about 5 seconds behind Adam Barker and gaining. And here we go. Max shoots down. He's going to be on the outside. When they come down to the turn, it bobbles. Max had a big bobble under braking, but gathered it back up. The tires really starting to show some wear here. Still staying right with Mike Dawling. That BMW, though, so much more planted. Mike Marshall now losing ground. Still holds on to fifth, though. Rudolf Gunther back in sixth. Andrew Lau in seventh, now just 11.5 seconds back. And Nicole Kriesel in eighth. with Harry Volsmir, Giancarlo, Ronnie Wimberly, and Paul Doling all out of race number 2. Sorensen continues to hold that 5-second lead on Adam Barker. Adam just 5.1 seconds ahead of Doling and Gunther. Mike Marshall still holds on to 5th, lurking back behind, hoping for a mistake from these two. Almost got one from Max. Last time he made an attempt on Mike Doling. Just over 5 minutes left to go, probably about 2 more laps. Sorensen just dominating race number 2. Adam Barker in second. Doling and Gunther still battling for 3rd. Max looks like he might be cooling his tires down just a little bit to make one more attack. The last half lap or so. Not really pushing the issue. Does Max dive to the inside this time? Does not. A little bit of slip through that turn. And oh, looks like he may have a run, but does not attack. Now Max starting to look down on the inside. Does not make the move yet, but he is definitely making Mike Doling drive in the mirror. Sorensen's lead 4.8 seconds. Adam Barker making one last charge. The battle is still on for 3rd. Mike Marshall back in 5th. Rudolph in 6th. Andrew Lau in 7th. And Nicole Kriesel in 8th. Oh, here we go. Max is going to go to the high side into turn 1. Does not have the momentum. Can he get to the inside before turn 2? Or is Max just toying with Mike and planning on an attack at an unexpected place? Mike moves to the inside briefly, trying to shut down the run. Nicole Kriesel is on pit road. Looks like she had gone off track a moment ago, likely needing some fresh rubber on that car. Adam Barker's charge is going pretty good. He is now under 4 seconds behind the leader, but not a lot of time left. As Nick Sorensen comes to the top of the hill, white flag is in the air. They will have one more time around. Can Max Gunther pull it off on the last lap, or can Mike Doling hold him off one more time? These two have gone at it for pretty much the second half of this race. It has been one heck of a battle. Mike Marshall will hold on to 5th, Rudolph Gunther in 6th, Andrew Lau 5.5 seconds back in 7th, and Nicole Kriesel in 8th. 4 drivers out of the race: Harry Volsmir, Giancarlo, Ronnie Wimberly, and Paul Doling. The top 2 are safe in their positions right now, but it is 3rd place that is being fought so hard for. Does Max have anything left for Mike Doling? As Nick Sorensen heads through the final turn, and he climbs the hill and is gonna pull it off. Nick Sorensen wins race 2 at Road America. Adam Barker coming home in 2nd. Mike Doling holds off a hard-charging Max Gunther to take 3rd. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Mike Doling. Mike, Mike, that was one heck of a fight between you and Max.
Oh, that's the whole race. It was literally nearly the whole race. Oh man, that was brilliant. I loved it. That was fantastic.
There was quite a bit of back and forth between you two, and it just seemed like maybe the BMW just able to power a little bit further into the corners, despite the Porsche having the handling advantage.
Yeah, I did notice that in the straight, I could hold him in the straight. There was a few turns where he had a distinct advantage on me coming out on exit, but I was just managing to hold the position, hold level with him just because of the front line, or the front line or straight line speed. Yeah, it was good, but it took every ounce of defensive skills to keep him behind me. It was tough. It was good racing though. I had a blast.
Well, they don't call you the Minister of Defense for nothing. That was a great job and a great podium, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, Doug. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Mike Doling comes home in 3rd. Adam Barker finishes 2nd. Adam, you kind of had the whole morning go upside down. Problems in race 1 and come back to finish 2nd in race 2.
Yeah, crazy race that. Everyone was super aggressive for the start, and just tried to keep the car clean for the second race. First race didn't go quite to plan, and then I was very surprised to be in P3 at the end of lap 1. So couldn't quite get to Nick. Every time I seemed to get a run, I made a mistake and I just dropped back another second.
Well, you did gain a couple of times, and on those last 2 laps, gained almost 1.5 seconds. Just not enough time left in the race.
Yeah, I could see the time ticking down, and then I'd get it to about like 3 seconds, and then I'd make a small mistake, and then it'd go back up, and then starting all over again. So, but it was a really good race. Nick was super quick as usual, so yeah, really good race. Happy with the result.
Well, great job, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Adam Barker comes home second, but Mercedes Power, driven by Nick Sorensen, for the win. Nick, that Mercedes Power on the straights, you just checked out.
Oh, man. Oh, that was a fun race.
It was definitely exciting to watch, and they're coming into pit stops. You lost a little bit of ground, but, man, once you got the speed bank up and some heat in the tires, you were just gone.
Yeah, I took all 4 tires, and I think most of the guys only take 2. But I had about a 4-second lead, so I knew that I could take all 4 tires and hopefully maintain that, and that's what happened.
Well, it worked out perfectly. You just kind of powered away there. Adam was able to reel you in a little bit here and there, but as soon as he did, you just took off again.
Yeah, I really did well in the beginning of the race, because those accidents that happened ahead of me could have very easily got caught up in that and then just ruin your race. But I was able to get through that, and then just kind of slow played on Mike Marshall there to get around him, and then kept my head down and tried to win it.
Well, man, you got it done. That was a great win. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks a lot, Doug. Good job, everybody. Fun race today.
Nick Sorensen gets the win at Road America. Don't forget to come back tonight, 7:30 Eastern, BRR Cup Series season opener at Daytona. We will see everybody tonight. Have a great day, y'all.